I was so glad when today's guest said yes to being on the podcast, even though we've never met, and I'm just another one of his fans. His poetry really drew me in over the last few years, and his foray into music is just a beautiful extension of his words. We talked about songwriting, traveling, and how discomfort can be an important part of the creative process.
You don't know what to do, and you don't know what to say. Forget all that. Start anyway. Spark that fire and build it high, and watch it burn. Then let it die.
Hello there.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sounds great.
Perfect.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining me.
Well, it's an honor. Tell me about what's going on behind you, those posters.
They're show posters from shows in PEI. I played a lot of shows for a bunch of years and had shows in my house, and that was kind of the band practice area and stuff. So I have a big collection. So finally last year I put a bunch of them into some cheap frames and put them up on the wall, and it's my little studio.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also like your big plant. I'm a big fan of big indoor plants.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a whole other story, but maybe that's another podcast. I'm just so happy that you said yes to this because we haven't met before, but I've been a fan of yours for a while, and I think I came across your poetry when Rose Cousins shared something on her Instagram page years ago
Okay.
when you were releasing a submission to love,
Yeah.
that collection. So anyway, I'm a big fan, so I'm happy you're here.
Oh, I'm honored. Thank you.
We will talk more about your poetry and writing soon, but you're releasing music right now. So I was thinking we'd start there.
Sure.
You've said that you're sort of kind of coming home to music after focusing on writing for a while.
Yeah.
Why were you drawn to make a record now? And when I say now, I know that you've been working on this for years. And it's not, recorded songs don't just appear out of nowhere. But yeah, I'm curious why you wanted to do that.
Yeah. I wanted to make an album since I was in my late teens, I think. I had taken piano lessons. I found that music had, of all the art forms, music was probably the form that had the biggest emotional impact on me.
Mm.
Like you hear a song and it just hits you in the heart kind of vibes. And I think I just wanted to be part of that.
Yeah.
And I started writing songs when I was in my early 20s. I went to music college for 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
did a diploma in music composition. And then I moved to Montreal and life sort of happened. I had to do a little bit more adulting, uh, pay my rent, worked some marketing jobs, but was always creative on the side, whether that was writing about my travels and my adventures or writing poetry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what was great is that, I had published some books and I had explored those mediums, not to their full capacity. There's obviously never an end to that. But I felt like something was still unfinished, I guess is the best word to use.
Yeah.
And that was, writing songs and returning to this thing that felt the most large in terms of like a type of calling and also potentially the most scary too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good when you're scared of it, I think, because that means that it's important, right?
Yeah. I think the music has always felt a little bit more vulnerable because you're literally sharing your voice.
Yeah.
So there's like the voice of the poet or the voice of the writer, which is something, but there's literally the voice of the singer-songwriter. So
Yeah.
I think I was avoiding that for a while.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you do any, like, you must have done some readings when you released your books, and I'm wondering, did you ever do any, like, spoken word with your poetry on a regular basis?
Yeah, I've done a couple small reading events here in Montreal that had, 20, 30 people in the room, which was great. Um,
Mhm.
and that felt also a little bit vulnerable, but also very doable.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What would you say would be the biggest difference for you between creating poetry and creating music? Besides what we've already talked about, obviously.
Yeah. One of the ways I quickly summarize is that the music is now just poems that I'm singing,
Mhm.
poetry that I'm singing. So it's sort of like essence there. It's a very similar process where, maybe I'll think of a line, like a line pops into my head, um, and I'll write it down on a piece of paper or on my notes app on my phone. And sometimes that has turned into a poem. Often has turned into a poem. And in this case, when I began the process of trying to like put poems to music, let's say, it began in a very similar way.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah, there'll be like something that like it pops into my head, a little nugget of something,
Mhm.
and I'll write it down. So in that way, poetry and songwriting are very similar. I feel like songwriting, there's also the next step of matching it to music and giving it a little bit more of a structure based on time.
Yeah. Yep.
So that often involves me just sitting with my guitar and strumming along and seeing if I can match this poem that I've written to music.
Mm.
And that is one sort of like formula that I've come up with for writing my personal songs. But the inverse is true also. I've been just strumming on my guitar and then, I'll say something or I'll sing something and that in itself can turn into a song too. And then it's sort of like I'm reverse engineering the process of, I've
Mhm.
got sort of a structure based on a chord progression and then what would be the words that match that.
Yeah. It's so interesting how many different ways there are to write a song, you
Yeah.
know? There's just a million different ways to
Yeah.
process that. I wanna hear about being a lighthouse keeper. Which you've done, because I've gotten your newsletter, and so you were giving beautiful updates from lighthouses, over the years. Definitely seemed to be an excellent job for a creative person where you would have lots of time to write in a natural atmosphere. So what drew you to that job, and why do you keep going back to it?
Yeah. I'm an introvert, like many creative
Mhm.
people. Um, I currently am based in Montreal, and I will be in Montreal for the foreseeable future, and that's great. I love Montreal. It's my favorite city in Canada. Um, but it is a city. It's big and it's noisy and it's can be unpredictable.
Mhm.
Um, and I grew up in northern British Columbia, surrounded by a lot of trees and a lot of wilderness. Spent my
Mhm.
summer jumping in lakes, that sort of vibe.
Yeah.
So I love being in nature. I love being beside the ocean. So I was a couple years ago, I guess it would have been 2022. I was looking for a space to do some writing,
Mm.
um, and I was toying with the idea of taking some months off from my marketing work that I do also,
Mm.
and just renting a little cottage somewhere in BC. And I kind of crunched the numbers and it would have incurred some debt and, that would have been okay. I've done that before. I've like taken on a
Mhm.
project, incurred debt, come out of debt, and the cycle continues.
Yeah.
um, but my sister's husband knew somebody at the Coast Guard and they were always looking for relief lightkeepers.
Mm.
Um, and my sister, she poked me and said, Have you applied? Have you sent that email? Have you checked in? And I said, Yeah, that sounds really nice. It's my sort of first idyllic scenario was going to my little cabin in the woods and not having any responsibilities and just
Yeah.
focusing on art. Um, Financially, however, my bank account was requesting something different.
I love how you're pointing to the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other sort of thing, but anyway.
Yeah, this is more like a bohemian who just wants to, like, make art and do nothing, and then, like, the reality of, like,
Reasonable adult in the brackets.
yeah, living
Yeah.
in a capitalist society, etcetera,
Yeah,
is on this shoulder.
yeah.
Um, so I reached out and uh, I got some qualifications done, which included a first aid course and a marine radio certification.
Mm.
And it sort of just went relatively quickly to the point where I was assigned to a station that by the end of that year for what ended to be a 3-month contract. And
Mm.
uh, it was challenging in some ways. You are very remote. You get groceries delivered once a month.
Mm.
You're paired with one other human being. The two of you are like the lighthouse keepers for that station. Um, and it won't be for everybody. Those folks who like a party or who like to socialize a lot. Um, but for me, it was pretty magical just to be so remote and to be beside the ocean.
Mhm.
And there are responsibilities. I was on shift for 9 hours a day,
Yeah.
listening to the radio, and then also making various weather reports during the day.
Mhm.
But there's also a lot of downtime, and in that downtime, I started writing again, and I brought a guitar with me, and the hope was to maybe write some songs, and then I got so bored that I did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. A great exercise for people that wanna create something is just to sit in silence for as long as you possibly can,
Yeah,
and then see what happens kinda thing, and inevitably, you do start making something from nothing.
yeah.
What a cool job. I was reading through A Submission to Love again, probably for the 20th time, and I came across this gem that I had forgotten about this morning. The poem, "5 Secret Beauty Tips to Make Him Fall in Love with You?" Exclamation mark. Number 1, the world has no ugly, open-hearted people. Number 2, the world has no ugly, open-hearted people. Number 3, the world has no ugly, open-hearted people. Number 4, the world has no ugly, open-hearted people. Number 5, the world has no ugly, open-hearted people. What does it mean to you to be open-hearted?
Oof. I think open to new experiences, open to connecting with other human beings, open to a changing of one's perspective once you incorporate new information.
Mhm.
Um, and that means like being open to new ideas about politics or art
Mhm.
or whatever the subject might be. Um, So yeah, it's funny you should bring that up. Like all of those poems in that collection were really something that I wrote for myself of like, you need to hear this, you need to learn this lesson, you need to learn this
Yeah.
lesson. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Oh, when I was reading that, I was thinking of my own opinion that people who are open-hearted, that are connected with their creativity and open to sharing their art and themselves with the world are much less likely to cause harm, you know?
Mm,
Um, and since our art centers can be so closely connected with our love centers, like, I just feel like well, also okay, so another poem I was reading from This Is a Landscape this morning ends by asking, "What would the world look like if each of us decided to become a form of love?" I feel like it's kind of all connected, so I'm wondering, do you think the world would be a better place, or at least less harmful and destructive, if people were more connected to art and love and more open about those things?
well, the easy answer is yes.
Why?
um, yeah, I, I think we really get hypnotized by other priorities,
Yeah.
whether that's status or wealth or security.
Mhm.
Which, those are okay things from time to time or in moderation. Um, but I think we lose sight of like some real simple things that could make the world a lot better. And love is an umbrella term for a lot of things like compassion and kindness
Mhm.
um, and generosity. So yeah, of course the world would be better. And I'm still figuring out like, what's my little role in trying to tilt the world
Yeah.
towards that,
Yeah.
and how I show up. Um, and, what I don't show up for as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that making art and putting art out into the world is in itself, it's a radical move really in the world that we
Yeah.
live in. And if more people did it, I think things would tilt further, towards the good side. So, yeah, to keep doing what you're doing, I would say.
Yeah, amen.
um,
I mean, if you're busy being creative, you're probably not gonna be hating anybody.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about traveling and exploration. I love traveling. I haven't done a lot of it the last few years because I've been adulting. But
Mm,
um, I am a firm believer that exploration and adventure go hand in hand with developing someone's creative voice. You've obviously been driven to explore the world, and you've turned those stories into books as well. How have your travels shaped you as an artist and as a human being in the world?
um, great question. I think I'll start with the human being. I think once we throw ourselves into the world, like, our perspective widens maybe a little bit, and it helps us develop a little bit of compassion, for
Hmm.
people who are different than us, for people who are living different lives, who have different priorities. When we're bumping up against that in the greater world, I think there's a chance, a very good chance that we'll experience like a little bit of an expansion. We'll
Yeah.
make room for more ways of being in the world. Um,
Hmm.
so I think that's a big part of how it influenced me personally on like a generic level. In terms of art, I think there's a level of discomfort that's been attached to some of my trips.
Mm.
A friend and I, we cycled across India, for example, an amazing journey full of discomfort.
Yeah.
Whether that involved like, food poisoning or bed bugs or whatever, we got it
Mhm.
all.
Yep.
And there were plenty of wonderful moments too, like generosity and good food and all of those things. But when we're able to be with the discomfort, it's almost like a little bit of a muscle that we develop.
Yeah.
And that can translate back to the creative process, which is, I think, required in the creative process is that level of like a little bit of discomfort of like, I don't know what this looks like, or I don't know what to say here.
Yeah.
Um, and the only way through that is to like feel it and like wait for it and be patient and be
Mhm.
in that space. So I think there is a correlation there, if I were to make one, between travel and creativity, is that they both give us an opportunity to bump against something it is not comfortable.
Take risks, right? To see what we could actually do beyond what we've already know what we can do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the first piece is like we have to like jump out of our comfort zone, which is the risk, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So your new songs, you've been releasing singles. Every time I listen to one of them, I can't help but think how good it would sound on vinyl because there's so much space and there's so much nuance and they're beautiful songs. Will you be releasing them as an album? Is that the plan? Are you leading up to that? Please tell me
Yeah.
you're gonna do vinyl. I will pre-order it.
Oh, thank you. That's good to know. Um, Yes, there is an album. It should be coming in September. It's fully completed. I'm just sort of dripping the album as a way to like build a little bit of anticipation.
Mhm.
Um, but the songs are ready. I'm very proud of it. And as we were recording it, I think we weren't specifically aiming for vinyl, but we were aiming for something that sounds like a cohesive album.
Yeah.
And I think it will translate very well to vinyl. It's also like we're not chasing trends or gimmicks. These are like, real instruments that have been played in like soft spaces.
Mhm.
And again, that translates well to vinyl. I would love to do a vinyl run. It's just a question of like what that looks like financially for me at this point.
Yeah.
But whether that happens in the near future or distant future, like yes, ultimate dream to have it on vinyl for sure.
Have you been performing these songs around, and will you be touring them with the either just yourself, with the band? Any plans for that?
I've done little concerts here in Montreal, first, like, with friends, and then in a larger venue with also friends and friends of friends. I would love to tour, not sure what that looks like yet.
Mhm.
Uh, it is right on my edge of comfort because up to this
Mm.
point, I've been the dude in the lighthouse on his guitar that is, like, very far away from the world, and
Yeah.
the reality of sitting in front of an audience is just so different than my process so far, um, and it scares me, but I also want to move in that direction.
Yeah.
So the short answer is yes, there will be concerts. I'm not sure when yet.
How can people see you and support you this summer and fall? Obviously, people can buy your books from your website, I think, right?
Yeah. If you go to sparkspublishing.ca, they're available there. In terms of supporting, I mean, just streaming is very helpful at this stage to get my numbers up.
Mm.
And then I'm publishing lyric videos for all of the songs as well.
Mm.
And any type of engagement on YouTube is very helpful as well. Leave a comment, click like, share, all of those things, very helpful. If you like a song, please just like send it to everybody. Like, that's the golden ticket of marketing right there. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and YouTube. I am very proud of the lyric videos. So if people are out there and they want to check them out, so far we've used vintage video and film footage
Mm.
to pair it with the songs. And I think what I'm working with a guy named Martin Reish. He's at Safe Solvent on Instagram. He's a wonderful video editor, and we've been making these like um, little videos that will hopefully last a long time. They feel quite timeless to me, and I'm very proud
Mm.
of them.
Mm.
So that's new territory for me. I'm not like a big video guy, and it helps to have people there that have that skill.
Yeah.
But from the get go, I knew I didn't have any like large budgets for music videos, so lyric videos felt like the way to go. And
Yeah.
then to breathe new life into old film footage as well has just been super fun. Like I've spent hours
Mm.
researching like what's available, what matches like the vibes of the songs, and yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. I think, Catherine McClellan on her episode a few weeks ago was talking about she got into finding that, royalty-free video stuff online, and she was teaching herself how to make videos during COVID when she wasn't playing anymore. Um,
Okay, yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah, if there's folks out there listening, archive.org is a really great place to start. There's lots of old stuff there.
Super.
Stars are bright tonight. I've got love on my mind. You're half a world away. I'll see you soon, someday. If I could speak with the fates, there are a few things that I'd say. Like, why give love and take love away? 'Cause all I ever wanted was a quiet kind of grace. But all we have now is too much space. All we have now is too much space.
Thank you so much for doing this. This was a really great chat and so great to meet you, and I can't wait to get my hands on a whole album of
Yeah,
yours.
hopefully a vinyl someday.
Hopefully. I'm telling you, just doesn't matter how much it is, just put out a pre-order, get everyone to buy it in
Yeah.
advance, and
Yeah,
You're gold.
that's actually a really good idea.
You're
Well,
welcome.
thanks for chatting. Thanks for chatting creativity.
Anytime.
All right.
It's a
Take
gentle
care.
sigh.
Bye now.
And a scream into the void, it can leave you. It can be you if you let it. You don't know what to do, and you don't know what to say. Forget all that. Start anyway. Spark that fire and build it high and watch it burn. Then let it die. It can make you cry. It can dry your eyes. It can be the one that keeps you warm inside, and it breaks your heart, then tells you where to start if you let it. You don't know what to do, and you don't know what to say. Forget all that. Start anyway. Spark that fire, then build it high. Watch it burn and let it die. It can make you stand up, make you fly. It's a lifetime. In the blink of an eye, it's obsession and objection to the status quo. You got a lot to do, and you got a lot to say. Just write it out, get it on the page. Find your crew, get mobilized, and maybe soon you'll realize that it's nothing and everything. It's a gentle sigh and a scream into the void. It can leave you, it can be you if you let it.